Hi, I'm Bill Mould. The process of removing and reinstalling wheels on a bike is something that is confusing to many people. In this short video, I'll show you how to do that. The first thing that we have to do is to move the brake pads out of the way before we can get the wheels out. Here's what I mean. Before I can get the wheel out of the bike, I have to open up this quick release. The reason is because the inflated tire is too wide to fit between the brake pads. Here's a close-up on one side and the other side. When I open the quick release, which I'll demonstrate in just a second, you see that the brake pads move far out of the way. This type of brake is called a V-brake. It's very common on kids' bikes, hybrids, and mountain bikes. To open the V-brake, this happens to be the front brake, the rear is just the same. I move this little rubber piece out of the way, and then I can open the brake like this. That allows the calipers and the brake pads to move away from each other. Closing the V-brake again is no more than just this in reverse. And then push the rubber thing back in the way. This is a picture of the rear brake when it's closed. And this is the quick release when it's opened in the rear. This is the same mechanism as you have in the front wheel. With road bike wheels, I have to similarly open up the brake pads to get the wheel out. This is my quick release on the road bike. And when I move that lever up, the brake pads move away from the rim. One of the practical problems you face in getting the wheels in and out of the bike, especially if you're alone, is doing that without the bike falling over at the same time you're trying to work with the wheels. To avoid that, I'm going to turn the bike over so that I have the bike balancing on the handlebars and the seat. Like this. I undo the quick release, which allows the brake pads to move out enough so that the tire can come through between the brake pads. So, closed, open. Now I'm going to open the skewer and turn it enough turns and so that the wheel will now come out of the bike. Putting the front wheel back in means just putting it back inside the dropouts. Notice here the advantage of having gravity helping us, because the wheel is going to sit right down into the dropouts. I tighten my skewer and then close it all the way to lock it. Like that. I finish up my job on the front wheel by closing the quick release on the front brake. With the rear wheel, I once again open my quick release to allow the brake pads to move out. I open my skewer on the back and turn it enough times so that the wheel will be able to come out. This is the part that confuses a lot of people, because even though I can get the wheel out of the dropouts here, I have the chain and the derailleur in the way. But what I can do is I can rotate the derailleur back like this, and if I rotate the whole derailleur back, which is very easy to do, then I can easily pull the wheel up. Note the position of the chains. One part of the chain is below the cassette and one part is above the cassette. So I take the wheel out. When I go to put the wheel back in, I just follow the same procedure in reverse. Put the wheel in place with the cassette between the two sections of chain, and using gravity again, just push the wheel down. The wheel will want to go all the way down into the dropouts, and now I can let the derailleur go. After getting the wheel back in the dropouts, I'm going to tighten my skewer and make sure that it's locked nice and tight so that my rear wheel is successfully reinstalled in the bike like that. And I finished my job on the rear wheel by once again closing the brake quick release. Getting the rear wheel in and out will be a little bit easier if you can remember to shift the bike into the outer cog or even one of the next three before you try to remove the wheel. If I happen to have a bike like this with V-brakes, the process to remove and reinstall the wheels is exactly the same as the road bike, except that the quick release of the brake is different. In this case, the V-brake, which I showed you how to remove and reinstall a minute ago. Wheels with disc brakes are essentially the same, except that there are no brake pads at the rim to deal with. When you're reinstalling a disc brake wheel, you have to make sure that the rotor here fits inside the caliper, and when it fits perfectly, you'll see a little sliver of light on either side of the rotor. If you have questions or there is some confusion in your mind, don't worry about it, don't feel bad. Come see us in any spoke store and we'll help you.